Got it.
Good day, I'm Tam, the creator of Live to Inspire movement. And with this channel here, we are here to inspire you and our artists of the day. So we got two main questions that we ask here. And the first main question is, what inspired you to do what you do? And also the second question is like, what keeps you fueled and motivated to do what you do, right? Because there's so many things that we're doing at the same time while we're trying to fuel and motivate our passion for what we want to create to give into this world, right? So here's an inspired story with
Carefully, I am the fashion designer of Gender Thieves.
Gender Thieves. I want to start there too. Where did that name come from? How did you get that?
Oh man, it's actually interesting because I had a brand prior to Gender Thieves, and it was called Androgynous Tales. So the thing was, a lot of people struggle to say androgynous, and so I'm like, all my friends like, how do you say that? How do you say that? And I'm like, okay, I gotta make this a functional name. And so I was just sitting down in my little work area one day and I just said gender. And like it literally just popped up like Gender Thieves. Oh yeah, because it's about taking the masculine and the feminine and kind of like taking a little bit from each, and just kind of putting it into one element. So I was like, yeah, that's perfect. It's so controversial, but yet it's like interesting. Like, what's going on with this, And so I just kind of came up with the name and it kind of flowed and it stuck. And I don't know, I love it. I love the sound of it, the rhythm of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do too. And that's why I was looking for like a fashion designer that I can like be a part of, during this, time, because it's like fashion, I guess, week and things like that, right? So I looked up like gender, fluid, and so it popped up, because that's what I look for.
Snap.
Yeah, so I was just like, man, this is gonna
Yes.
be cool. Like, and I was looking through your stuff, and I was like, man, this is like my kind of style too. Like, I like that like dressy kind of look, and just fluid with it, not so like woman or
One
man
side.
kind of a look. Yeah, so I was just like, this is gonna be nice, and then just getting
Exactly.
to know you more and stuff and looking through your things. And I was like, man, okay, this is going to be a really cool interview. And I really
Yes.
would like to know a lot of different things. So let's get right into it. So where did you start in like being like into fashion or like stitching?
Well, I just recently started stitching in like 2019. So super fresh with it. Just a few years underneath my belt. But I think like the fashion like world has been a part of my life like since like yay high, since I was maybe 7 years old. I used to always take like clothes and I used to always modify them. I would like add different like, cartoon characters on them and I would like just try to be different, you know what I mean? Because when I was younger, after my parents divorced, I was kind of like I stay more with my father. And so, from a man's point of view, he always wanted to kind of like, show me how to be a little girl, and, your fathers can teach you so much about being a woman, but not like your mother can, right? And so he used to always say, hey, look, little girls don't wear this, they don't dress like this. And not in a negative way, but just kind of like, and I'm going to teach you, certain things. And I was just like, because I grew up with my brothers, I was the only girl in the house. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if I really like the blouses and things like that. And so I remember I was like third grade and my brothers had like these really, really nice kicks on, and I had to wear sandals. And I cried the entire way to school the whole day. My teacher's like, what's wrong? I said, I hate my shoes. I hate my outfit because I'm like, this is not me. It's not my identity. I am a tomboy by life. That's my code, and I didn't like it. I hated it. You know what I mean? And so like as I grew older, I understood like where he was coming from because like I started to explore myself, I found myself more when I was in college. And that's when I kind of like really, because I went to the Art Institute of Austin. And so this was like, I started off as a fashion designer major, right? But then I was like, well, I don't really want to do fashion design because I can teach myself how to sew. but I really can't teach myself the whole business side of things. So I changed to fashion retail marketing. And so it was just like a journey, because I feel like a lot of creatives, we jump into these creative fields without really understanding how to like actually scale and manage the business. And so I stuck with fashion retail marketing and management, but fashion design kind of called me back. And I'm just like, okay, when I go into these stores, I see the men's product, and they're cool, but they're not like calling me. They don't have that feminine touch to it. They don't, it's too much or too less going on. And you go into the women's wear, and it's just like it's too much. It's too many accessories and things like that. So I wanted to kind of find something that met design right at the middle. You know what I mean? Something that was comfortable, tailored, something was clean, and just had like cool dope on it. You know what I mean? That's not too much of a belt and whistles. And so I started designing. I started designing like comfortable casual clothes, and I kind of like just recently just got into the whole idea of designing suits, which I was kind of against in the beginning, because I was like, everybody's doing suits. But I kind of find my own voice in like designing and like doing, in the fashion industry is super saturated. And how do you become heard in an over, populated block? You got to be different. You got to think different. You got to do something that's out of the box, but you got to do something that's so you know what I mean? And so that kind of like led me up into like doing it. And also I had the opportunity to intern at the domain with one of my mentors, Sheila Hawkins Bucklew. She was in charge of, she was the founder of Hawkins Bucklew Jewelry Design. And she was just like somebody that came into the college, and she just like came into the room because she was coming to tell us about her business. And when she came into the room, like she really just like her energy, just like I was attracted to her energy. Like, who is this person? I love the way she's owning this herself, owning her energy. And so she was telling us about the internship opportunity. At the time, I had no skills or anything to give her, but I saw an opportunity to be able to, be able to bring my brand to life, and, and learn things from her. And so I chased her down the hall for the opportunity, and, I ended up getting an intern eventually.
That's cool.
And yeah, and it's just like sometimes you gotta like just jump out on faith. I knew I didn't have the skills that she was looking for, but I knew I was skilled in other things like graphic design. We're changing as a as a world with the social media, with the Web3 and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's just like I knew I could give something. So, she was the inspiration behind me really launching my brand. She gave me my first opportunity at, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Austin Domain location, very prestigious location, shopping location. And it's just like she was able to kind of like help me like put my products in her showroom, which she had the model creative women entrepreneurs, where she supported small women entrepreneur business, because a lot of us don't scale because we go into these pop-up shops and we're not in a prime real estate location. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she was the one that pushed me forward and just like really helped me just like put my brand out there and make it my first sale. I got the inspiration that I think I can do this. I think I can really take this to another level, show people what it means to be gender neutral, and like break these barriers that we have to constantly deal with on a daily basis on, what are you? Are you a tomboy? Just having these uncomfortable conversations with people about just being a balanced individuals, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of like, just led me, I'm kind of talking all, over the place or whatever, but just,
yeah, because
it kind of led me to this journey of being a designer.
Yeah. Yeah, because like,
oh, sorry.
There is like say Walmart or Target, right? There's just a set like kind of clothing for men and women, and like those conversations, like you're going in there and you're like, man, like I really like that shirt, but like it doesn't fit me like the way I want it to, or that jacket.
Yes.
And you're just like, dang, and like how do you explain to other people, like, can you find me something that's like,
right.
exactly. And then there's the malls and things like that, but it's still the same way. I wonder when Walmart or Target is gonna like come in with like, fluid, stuff, just an area where it's just like, here's the medium, come here.
Yes,
Area.
exactly.
There's men
That's
and
the
women, and then there's
goal.
this like mashup of like stuff that'll fit you well and like,
Right.
be you
Exactly.
can be able to select from, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly what I want to like bridge that gap on. You know what I mean? Like it's, of course, gender neutral has become a very popular thing, since I would say 2020 and forward. A lot of designers have seen that space and needs. I mean that the customer need in that area, and I feel like with more of us coming together and bringing that subject from the back of the room into the front of the room, I think we can look in the near future and see a Walmart or see a Target or something like that, with those that gender neutral
Yeah.
space. And imagine that, and also it adheres to your feminine silhouette.
Yeah.
We're men and women are definitely different. You can try on a man's pair of jeans, it doesn't fit as well as a woman's pair of jeans,
Yeah.
because of our curves and things like that. Our makeup is different, so it's just like as a designer you have to consider that as well. So it's a space I can see in the future, and I think again, if we just as designers come together and like kind of push for that, that's definitely something we can look forward to.
You're a part of that. Look at that.
So that would be exciting.
That's so cool.
Of course. Yeah,
Never know.
exactly.
And what's inspired you lately? Anything fresh, anything new?
Um, just kind of like for me, like what's inspired me to continue to want to pull forward in the fashion industry is just like, of course, what happened with COVID and the whole Web3 space has been carved out. And I think that as a designer, this is like new playground for us, and it's just like you're able to take your thoughts from internal into the external world, the holographic universe, if you may. And
Oh,
so I think, you know what I mean? I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Web3 and just the whole 3D designing and things like that. Like, I feel like it's a space that I can see myself thriving in, because, as creators, like, you're able to like really kind of carve out, like, you don't have to have a physical location anymore. You can
yeah.
create a store online and create a great experience. You know what I mean? So that puts you into a customer to consumer, like direct to your consumer, marketing, which I think that's something that's super inspiring, and creators are able to take control of that space and actually really, 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 create marketing and branding, the way that they want to without having third parties involved. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say that's been my latest inspiration, just keep moving forward to that. And, the whole, financial train, learning about how to be a business owner, learning about, all the things that's been going on in our world. It's just like it's a madness out here. War is, the
Yeah.
fall of the dynasties and stuff like that. It's just like it's a lot going on. It's just like I feel like this is the perfect time to talk about balance, to talk about, too much of anything is toxic, right? And it's just like learning to communicate. Learning it's not all about a man being masculine. Sometimes you got to learn how to be submissive and listen and try to, be understanding of someone else's space, and women at the same time. It's important now for us to stand up and come together and learn how to be assertive, take that masculine energy and run with it. You know what I mean? Because it's just the world is everywhere at this point, and it's how do you bring it back down to a calm, surface, you know what I mean? So
Beautiful.
I
Yeah.
just think, yeah, those are things that just keeping me on edge. It's just like it's important to have a voice as a creative, in order to articulate everything that's going on, and just kind of get people to settle down, if that makes sense.
Like do your own thing, right? Play your little part in this big world of everything that it has and can offer, right?
Isn't
And
it
just
so
learn
important?
and
You
learn.
know?
Like
Yes.
like it just like barely, like for me it's just been like, man, I just want to learn like this and that, and as much as I can, and just listen to people, like I think it's so like it's so inspiring to hear other people, and
Because
the things,
exactly. I'm sorry if I cut you off, but it is so true because I think that we're our own libraries. You know what I'm saying? Just the experience that we have all in one. You can just listen to somebody else's story. It can kind of help you get over whatever trial or tribulation that you're going through. You know what I mean? And I think we take that for granted as a human race, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. I'm so
For
thankful I'm
sure.
here today. I'm so
Yeah.
thankful for this interview today. Like, thank you
Yes.
for this
Of
time and this
course.
space, right?
Exactly. Nothing happened before at times.
And who do you have a mentor? You did talk about that one lady earlier.
Sheila, yes, her name is Sheila Hawkins, Bucklew. She just, like I said, just was someone that kind of really got me on this path and just showed me just the retail space. You know what I mean? Just watching her take her business from a small location into a very, big prestigious location, and watching COVID come in and trying to manage, how do you sell and how do you sustain a business after COVID, post COVID or whatever. And so, like I said, yeah, she has been definitely an inspiration for me, just by the experience along with her. Like I said, it let me see that, hey, I don't want to deal with the overhead fees and just the whole, physical location. But I also think it's also important to have some type of way for your consumers to be able to touch you. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. But definitely when I think about where I've come and how I've gotten to where I'm at, now it's just through listening to her. A lot of the talks that we had, her inspiring me to just go within, critiquing me on my designs. That's what an artist, that's the hardest thing for anybody, any creative, just that critique. Like, I don't like that. Oh, you need to add more to this. And it's just like that honesty, we need that, what I'm saying? Don't sugarcoat it with us, because
Yeah,
it might be sensitive to you, but at the same time, she can see things or other people can see things that you're not really paying attention to, you know what I mean? So, that's been my inspiration. And I'm a mom, so, every day looking at my daughter, like she's so excited, like, Mom, I want to be a fashion designer like you. But I'm like, baby, make sure you know how to, read and write and all these things, and just like
put
looking
that
at her
first.
and looking
Yeah.
at me, and like that's the thing that's just like that's my motivation and my inspiration, all in one.
And do you have anybody that, so, other than
So
your daughter right now,
super
do you have
excited
any
for it.
mentors right now?
Well, I feel like I have, a good hand of people that's in my life, that are mentors. Of course, my parents, they're always, supportive to everything that I do. Working with clients, I've found, great relationships and clients, that, push me, my creativity. It's just like, someone that wants to see you succeed, that that's gonna lay it out to you, not gonna sugarcoat things. And I think as a having mentors like that, it kind of expands you, you know what I mean? And it's just like, well, I know you can do more. I wanted to look like this, or so it's just like just those my clients and my friends. Those are people that really kind of like see where I can go, and they see things that I can't see
Okay, okay. So family,
myself at
friends, and
times. You know what I
clients.
mean? And so they're able to push me forward when I sometimes don't see the light. Exactly, exactly.
So, um, what have you struggled with and you overcame? Like something that, was there a stitch? Was it a client? Was it a fashion show that you attended? Like, what was something that you like overcame? Yeah.
Um, well, I think it's myself, I think the biggest journey was me trying to find who I am,
Yeah.
in the mix of all of this. You're gender neutral, you know what I mean? How do you show this to the world? How do you be unapologetic about who you are? And to me, I feel like I've recently just got to that point where I don't care about if you look at me as, oh, you're boyish or whatever. Like, I don't care if you look at me like that. And one day you see me feminine, talking with my hands or, being flamboyant. And it's just like, I had to overcome the idea of, do I please myself or do I please the world? Rest his soul, but Nipsey Hussle, a famous artist out of California, he once said, do you want to be at peace with yourself and at war with the world, or at war with the world at peace with yourself? And I think that's something that you have to make a decision on. You know what I mean? Like, I have to say, this is who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I love, the idea that I can express both of my energies and understand that I don't have to be a prison to it. Like, oh, I'm a woman, I can't be, masculine. Oh, poor me. No, don't do it. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
like, like, this is who I am. Like, so if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, then also cool too, because I have to be me, because there's somebody else that's struggling with the same thing that cannot be themselves. And if they probably need somebody, they need inspiration, somebody to look towards and say, oh, she's doing it, oh, I can do it too. You know what I mean? So I think that is really one of the biggest things I have to overcome within these last few years, especially with a brand like Gender Thieves. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. No, I feel the same way too. I feel like struggling with myself, with my motivation and inspiration, and my sometimes I feel lonely, or sometimes I just don't feel
oh
like
yeah,
doing nothing, or like
yeah,
it's not good enough, like all those
yeah,
things we find with ourselves, right? And what is live to
right,
inspire, because everybody's like, it can't be everything, Tam, and I'm like, yeah,
right.
it can.
Yes, it can. Exactly, it can. Like, it's all about what you make it, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it's my world. I'm like, leave me alone.
right? Like, can we just agree to
Yeah, yeah,
that? Like, we're all experiencing life in different perspectives. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
this is what's good for me. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Different
So
lights
I
and
get it.
different perspectives, just like the
Like,
how that pyramid goes with all the light, right? Like makes the
mm-hmm.
moon. Oh man, that's
Mm-hmm.
so cool. I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Look, see, look at you. You get it.
Let's see, what else? So what's next for you?
Oh man, just
You got this. Did you already have the show, or it's coming up?
well, it's coming up.
Oh, in
So
Austin,
we
yeah.
have, yes, shout out to Matthew Smith. He's the founder of Fashion for Life. And we have a show in October the 23rd. And it's in support of domestic violence. And it's going to be a menswear show, but I think this is really a good space to kind of show the whole gender neutral of wear. And you guys can definitely check us out there, all the new pieces that we're bringing out. Again, I say I'm stepping into the suit game, so
Yeah.
this is going to be really exciting, just to kind of see like how we have evolved from just the trucker jacket and the trousers now, the suit. Kind of can see something behind me. We got a little sneak peek of, what's to come, during the fashion show. So definitely that's something that we'll be in a few weeks, actually, October the 23rd. Yeah.
Sweet.
So hope to see you guys
Anything else
out
coming
there,
up?
of course. Yes.
Anything else coming up?
Well, that, and also I will be a part of the Austin Fashion Week. I'm super excited for that. My first time doing it. I remember I was what it is, a volunteer behind the stage for 2020, and it's now I'm showing my collection there. So I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? So we have that coming up in November. So also to see us there. But
More stuff in
just
Austin,
in the
huh?
future. Yeah, I just moved out to Houston, and I'm
Yeah.
still working in Austin and San Antonio area, which is, I'm so thankful for, especially for the San Antonio community. You guys are just on a whole nother level. I love you guys. I love the spirit, the energy in San Antonio. I love being there, so it's an honor for me.
Cool. Thank you. We're honored to have you.
course,
This is like something really,
course.
really like different, and it's super cool, and it's
Right.
gonna push a lot of new stuff, for San Antonio. Because you see a lot of stuff,
Exactly.
could be a lot of like drag stuff you see, like things like that. And
Hmm.
like, I want to see, yeah, more like, I hate to say it, but like dykes and, lesbians and like,
Yes,
things
yes,
like really like gender fluid kind of style. Like, I don't know. I
yes.
was really into that stuff. I just want to see it
Exactly.
more. So
Right.
thank you. Thank you.
We
We thank you for that.
need more. We need more and more and more of it. You know what I mean? Because it's a yes, definitely need that.
Well, that
So
brings
I'm
me to
excited
my
to be a
next
part of
question.
that.
That brings me to my next question is how do you want to inspire others? Because we know how you kind of do, but like in a short way, how would you?
I'm sorry. The it kind of cut out. I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
All right, all right, yeah. So like how would you want to inspire others?
Okay,
How would you want to?
back. It's like glitching. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my internet too is it's been kind of glitchy, but I can chop and screw this up
Yeah.
and make it like better.
Of course.
So yeah, how let's see if you get this one. How would you like to inspire others?
Oh man, I just want people to do the uncomfortable. I want
Woo.
people to get comfortable with the uncomfortable
Yes.
because it takes a lot to speak up. It takes a lot to say, this is who I am. It takes a lot to carve out space for you in this big universe. And it's just like, I want people to be inspired by, somebody that's fearless, somebody that care, but don't care, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like when it's all said and done, like what's important is how you lived and how you made a change into this world and society. It's about what you've done. It's not about what society was about. So again, it brings me back to that whole thing. Is it important to, be at war with yourself or, at peace with the world. And so I hope I can inspire people to see that. I take on a battle. I take on, the day-to-day battle of, just being gender neutral, being, a gender thieves. So
I love that. Yeah. Because we
yes,
do. We need to
yes.
like speak out. We need to create our own like path, our own little way, like it's cool to hear other
Mhm.
people's history and other people's things, but what are you bringing in that's totally different and totally new? Like what is that? Because they did it. Why can't you? Right?
Exactly. That's the whole thing about the past. Everybody talk about what happened in the past. Okay, that's happened in the past. What about the now? Like, where are we at now? How can we live and thrive and make
I'm
sense
going
of
to
the
Austin
now?
on the 23rd to go meet
Yes!
Emily.
Come on!
Man, I'm telling you, fired.
I
One
love
last
it.
thing,
I
because
love
we're
it.
about to run out of time. Where can people find you?
Oh my God, guys, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Gender Thieves. And you also can check out the website at genderthieves.com.
Thank you. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.